taking a look at the latest power rankings there, the Dodgers still number one. They've been that way since the All-Star break. The Mets now up to number two after winning 4-5 against the Braves. They now have a firm hold on that division. Astros dropping to number three, followed by the Yankees, who are 9-16 since June 8th. Let's welcome in MLB expert Matt Snyder and the man behind the power rankings there, which, by the way, you can see the full article at CBSSports.com. So, look, a lot of the season we have said the Yankees are the best team in baseball. That's not the case anymore. It hasn't been for about a month now. And you put in the article, Dodgers make it clear they are the best team in baseball.
Yeah, it's actually not even close. We've had four elite teams pretty much throughout the year. In addition to the Yankees and Dodgers, you have to loop in the Astros and the Mets, the latter of which coming off a big series where they won 4-5 against the Braves in a big statement. But the Dodgers are just kind of running away with the league right now. They're 30-5 in their last 35 games, going back to 2 games into June. They were ridiculous in July. They're 7-0 in August right now, running roughshod over everybody, including the Padres, who were feeling very good about themselves after adding Josh Bell, Brandon Drury, Josh Hader, and by the way, Juan Soto in front of the trade deadline. You almost wonder if the Dodgers kind of deep down were a little annoyed by all the attention the Padres got. We're like, you know what? We've got them this weekend. Let's just go out and whip them and everybody else into shape and show them who's boss. An interesting movement during the series. Max Muncy hitting the big 3-run bomb Saturday night. Cody Bellinger hitting 2 home runs on Sunday. Those two guys have been struggling all year long. And in Bellinger's case, going back into last year as well. If they started to hit as well as they can hit, the Dodgers already lead the National League in runs scored and on base percentage and slugging percentage. If those guys haven't even hit all year, if they start to hit, man, it just gets even more ridiculous.
One of the other elite teams, you said we've had a handful. We got to say the Mets are right up there. Look, one of our producers here is a huge Mets fan, and before this series against the Braves, we were teasing him they could be in a bad way after this series. Mets were amazing. They won 4 out of 5 games. They are now 6.5 games up in that division there, and they have now overtaken the Astros in your power rankings at number 2.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, hypothetically, what would it take for the Mets fans to stop being so fatalistic? But I think we know. I think it has to be a World Series championship. And this past series kind of gave you a glimpse of what that might look like in the playoffs. To go out and take 4 or 5 from the Braves. Now, they wouldn't have a doubleheader in the playoffs, but obviously, if it's a series like the NLCS, taking 4 out of 5, hey, that advances you to the World Series. And Jacob deGrom throwing like he did, it was only 5 2/3 innings of perfect baseball with 12 strikeouts, but it just showed he could still be the best pitcher in the world. And they also have Max Scherzer, and he went out and he dominated the Braves on Saturday. To see those guys going back-to-back days like that gives you a good idea of what they can do in the playoffs. And whether it's Chris Bassett or Carlos Carrasco or Taijuan Walker, 2 of those 3 filling in behind them in the rotation, you can kick the other guy to the bullpen. They tried to shore up the bridge to Edwin Diaz, who, by the way, has been amazing this season. Going out, Edwin Diaz getting that 2-inning save on Thursday, I thought was another statement. What can you say? Pete Alonso already almost with 100 RBIs. Francisco Lindor has been hot lately, kind of looking like what he can be. The lineup's deep with guys like Starling Marte. It's a really, really good team. They're not the best team in the National League because the Dodgers are, but hey, sometimes that doesn't matter in the playoffs. We've seen stuff like the Braves beating the Dodgers last year when the Dodgers were clearly inferior. This Mets team has the stuff. They really could win the World Series.
I now make it my mission. I'm going to play Edwin Diaz's music every time I enter the newsroom, and I hope Chris Hassel over here appreciates that.
That'd be a good choice.
I think so. So the Yankees are struggling. The Cardinals become the first National League team to sweep them in a 3-game series in 15 years. Instead of focusing on the Yankees, we got to focus on the Cardinals. They are up 6 spots in your power rankings to number 6, and they are now in first place in the NL Central ahead of the Brewers.
Yeah, all the way back in the middle of June, it might have even been early June, I went back and I did an NL Central odds check, and I said you should bet on the Cardinals because I thought they have a lot more talent than the Brewers. They have more depth than the Brewers. Now, they needed to shore up the rotation going into the trade deadline. It looked kind of modest in grabbing 2 left-handers in Jose Quintana and Jordan Montgomery, but Montgomery already paid off with the win over his former team, the Yankees, on Saturday. The lineup, it's spurred by 2 MVP caliber players in Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, of course. But you go up and down the lineup, the depth that they have with rookies like Nolan Gorman, like Brendan Donovan. Right now, Paul DeJong has come back up and started to swing the hot bat. He's had some really huge hits in that series over the Yankees. He was demoted to AAA earlier in the year, and it looks like his Cardinals career might be over, but maybe he's going to be rejuvenated here. They're a lot deeper right now than they have been throughout most of the season. Like I said, they shored up the depth and in the rotation. The lineup looks really, really good top to bottom. They just got Yadier Molina back, by the way. Adam Wainwright looking like the ageless wonder, although he got knocked around a little bit on Sunday, but it's the Yankees lineup. That's going to happen every once in a while. And the bullpen behind Helsley is really, really settling in. I expect them to win the Central. I don't know if they're going to run away with it because the Brewers are good, but man, the Brewers also kind of messed with their chemistry a little bit and trading Hader, and their bullpen's had 5 meltdowns here since that trade. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that it's trending toward the Cardinals, and I think they're going to win the division.
Cardinals up 2 games as of right now. So we often don't talk about the very bottom of your power rankings. We're going to go to the very bottom because it's the Nationals. Look, they weren't good before they traded away Juan Soto. They're still very bad. Your direct quote was they are on pace to go 53-109. I'm not sure they can make it there. They are brutal. How brutal are the Nats right now?
Well, that says it. I mean, 53-109, that's really one of the worst seasons that we've seen in baseball history. Probably 20 to 25 or so have only been worse. And like I said, that's their pace taking the full season, and that's, including the games where they had Juan Soto and Josh Bell. Let's not forget Bell was Soto's protection in that lineup. You remove both of those guys. I don't know if they can get there. It's going to be a chore to get to 50 wins. And that used to be unheard of. I know that the Orioles and Tigers kind of lowered the bar there in 2019, not even getting to 50 wins, but usually it was automatic. I mean, the old saying goes, everybody's going to, well, you used to say 60 actually. You used to say everybody's going to win 60 and everybody's going to lose 60. It's all those games in between that where you figure out who's bad and who's good, but I don't even think they're going to get to 50 wins. They're probably going to be high 40s. That would be the worst season in franchise history. And remember, before Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper, this was a team that they got those 2 consecutive number 1 picks in order to land those 2 guys. So it's not like they've never seen really terrible teams before, but I don't know if they've ever seen this terrible.
That's a lot. That's a lot to soak in. But hey,
it is.
Silver lining, prospects. We got some good prospects, so we'll keep that in mind over the next 2 or 3 years. Matt, thank you so much. Taking a look at his power rankings 1 through 10 there. If you do want to see the full list, go to CBSSports.com. Dodgers and Mets doing damage. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.